problem. The voters don't like her. They didn't want to vote for her. They saw through the fact that she has no record of accomplishment. In fact, you could say that everything she's ever touched has turned to crap, whether it's Benghazi, whether it's the first feint that they took at Hillary Care, you name it, Libya. Nothing has worked for her. She's been a disaster in public policy, and she keeps talking about her accomplishments for women and children. She's abused women, and 18 children under the age of 8 die in the firefight at Waco when she gives the order.
We'll talk about the fact that Trump had zero staff, essentially, and Hillary Clinton had an army behind her for years trying to prop her up and put her in.
But these liberal... Hey, what about the Senate and House races? What's happening there? You had... whatever. Bullshit. We'll do it. Here we go. Hey, we're teleprompter free.
We have so many of them.
Go to the other studio. They know this one. Yeah, I'll carry the way. I'll make sure you get a bottle of water. Yeah, what about the Senate races? What about the House races? Because here's the deal. Trump clearly is the winner now. He's honest, but, he doesn't know about the internet and things. How do we make sure he doesn't somehow get manipulated? I mean, obviously that hasn't happened yet. But where do we go from here?
He's not going to be preempted because I happen to think stubbornness is one of his greatest qualities. He knows his own mind. He knows what he wants to do. He's unimpressed by government credentials. He's his own man. So I think there is very little prospect that he can be co-opted the way, to a certain extent, they were able to co-opt Reagan. I don't see that happening here.
So, with the Brexit and with Russia pulling out of the globalist operations, they've written in every major establishment publication that a fall of Hillary would signify the end of the New World Order, this corporate, private world government that they told the trendies didn't exist, but they openly set up. So is that accurate to say that this repudiation of globalism is a major bellwether in the fall of private corporate world government?
No, I think this is the end for the globalists. I think it's the end of the two-party elitist duopoly, because this election is also a repudiation of the Republican Party leadership, not the rank-and-file Republicans who give their money and who support a conservative agenda only to see their leaders betray it by working with the Democrats. No, I think the two-party duopoly is over.
Well, I just hope that all the people raised by brainwashed parents or single parents or no parents and raised by universities run by big corporations would realize that free market and basic systems of capitalism have built the cities, have built the sports cars, have built the iPods, have built all the choices that, albeit made us decadent slobs because they were so great, still it produced it. And their weird infatuation with North Korea and weird pot-bellied dictators needs to come to an end. They need to rediscover manhood, feminine power as well, and the human animating contest of destiny.
Who's this gentleman who's unshaven? Who is this?
So we have some really interesting information that has just come to light. There's big potential that it looks like the Republicans might actually take back the Senate. And we're assuming this based on the fact that right now Donald Trump has a huge lead in the popular vote. Thank you. And there are right now the Republicans only need 2 more seats to take back the Senate, and there are two senators that are running right now: Roy Blunt in Missouri and Kelly Ayotte.
Sure, you'll have the numbers. What about the Senate and the House? Is what I asked earlier.
No, I think this is vitally important, and I think Buckley makes a good point, because the single most important opportunity Trump will have will be to appoint a Supreme Court justice to fill the vacancy.
The last guy they killed. Will he deliver on that?
There's no question.
That's the litmus test.
He's already put out a list, and he says whoever he chooses will be on that list. And we know who his nominees are, and every one of them is a solid, liberty-based conservative. So I don't think there'll be any Bush-like surprises. Remember, Bush's gave us David Souter, and then the other Bush gave us John Roberts, who gave us Obamacare. No, there'll be no surprises. I think you're going to get a solid
And they say the
law and
House,
order conservative.
it's not the Republicans are perfect. The Democrats are the current metastasization. They're the cancer. What are they going to do now? Because, when they're not at hot dog parties, and kids are
47,
supplied with a hot tub,
47 to 48.
and not doing Aleister Crowley rituals, because they rule us. I mean, why not? They're so liberal. When they're not doing that, what are they going to do now?
They're going to lose, and they're going to keep losing because Trump is going to pursue policies in the country that I think will be popular